when you hear all through the night, they had me singing that first song over and over and over again because it's a funny thing. Where I recorded She's So Unusual is literally right around the block from Kinky Boots, right? So my theory is that every 30 years you gotta stand in the same vicinity. Anyway, so we used to go to the restaurant, whatever, there's a Japanese restaurant right across the street. I'm sure I'm gonna say the name wrong, so I'm not gonna say it. But there was a restaurant there, and it's still there. But we went there, I sang and we went there, and then we came back and listened, and Dave Wolf, who was my fiancé manager at the time, and let me tell you about that. It's not a good idea. You know, I don't know what the hell Selena's doing, but I can tell you. You can't mix it all up like that. Didn't work for me. Anyway, so Dave Wolf, God bless him, was a great manager, said to everybody, that's not a good first line. Let's take the first line from the second verse is better. I don't know, got all confused. So he was making them edit, and in those days we had tape. It's not like Pro Tools, no, we have tape and a razor blade, and so he cut the tape and then taped it back together. Real surgeons we were, okay. Anyway, so we taped it back together and it started playing, so it sounded like all through the night, you know, because the razor blade was magnetized, so it made a sound, but mine was deeper, like that. Anyway, so we couldn't use it, and so I had to sing it again, you know, to fix it. And so every time I sang the line, it was like 10 o'clock when I started. They're like, nah, that's not a good first line. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, after I kept singing it over and over again, I decided to get Lenny Pizzian, who was a nice guy who signed me over to Portrait Records at the time. So he come, and there was a sofa in the studio. It was like they put me in a nice studio hoping that the magic would seep in. So I was standing there waiting for the magic, and then I said, Lonnie, why don't you sit here? Because I thought maybe he was the keeper of the magic and it would kind of seep into me somehow while I was singing. So I'm singing and singing and singing and singing, and all of a sudden the sun kills me. It comes up and it kills my eyes, and I realize I've been singing all freaking night. So, you know, and Lenny says, that's the one. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, because I'm a good sport, you know. Was it magical enough, Bill? No, we took it from the second verse anyway, so it didn't matter. And so when you hear that song, you know what was going on. I wanted to tell you before, but I didn't want to talk to you too much, and I don't want to not talk to you because I don't want you to think I'm going to snub you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I know. Okay, so this next song, I just want to give you a little piece of what was going on. You know what I'm saying? And the rest, read my book. No. I always said that as a joke, but now there really is a book, so I guess you could. You know, for those of you the cards, thank you for all the cards and all the well wishes, and I appreciate it. You know, I called my mother on my birthday because it's her birthday too, let's face it. It wasn't easy. And so you should always call your mother on your birthday because it's kind of her birthday too. And so, you know, because my mother, I don't know if I ever told you, I must have told you, well, maybe not you in particular, but my mom loved this one doctor, Dr. Dresner. I know, do you have a family doctor? Well, when I was a little kid, the family doctor was everything. Kind of like, you know, father knows best, only he was a doctor, I'm not sure. But no matter what went wrong, like even if your plumbing was bad or the sink was stuffed, you called Dr. Dresner. You knew all. So when my mother was having me, she called Dr. Dresner and she said, you know, I feel like I'm going to have her any time. And he said, no, you got plenty of time. Then after a while, her water broke. And kids, you don't understand this yet. You'll have to read a different kind of book. Anyway, so she's on the phone to the doctor and her water broke. So she gets in a cab, right? So literally, I was almost born in a taxi cab on the way from Williamsburg, Brooklyn to Astoria, Queens, right? I know, but I wasn't. My mother held out. She got into the emergency room and the doctor wasn't even washed up. You know how, like, you ever watch Scrubs? They wash up. I guess that's why they, no, it's those uniforms. I don't know. He wasn't prepared. But me, I was right on time, okay? So I was coming out, and he wasn't ready. So, shut your ears, kids. He closed my mother's legs on my head. I know, can you imagine how that hurt? And me, I personally ain't been right ever since. So, I was on time once. And now I'm always just a little late. And that's why. My entrance into this world, you know how that goes. So, also she said to me that when oh geez, what's going on here? All right, that's what you get for radio frequencies. All right. Radio frequencies. Did any of you buy that derma wand that runs on radio frequency on late night television? I did. It don't work. Anyway, I don't know what made me do it. I just was up very late. That and SVU. I get them confused. Okay, where was I? Okay, and speaking of that, okay, I'm drifting here. Okay, static. That is static. Yeah, too big. Okay. Anyway, so speaking of that, I wrote this song called Witness that I did with Blue Angel. And I put it on the She's So Unusual CD, and this is how it goes. I don't care, you do it.